Bull or bear? Rolling my 5-ounce hubcap, which is the ATB, America the Beautiful 5-ounce series. Woo! And that sounds like a hubcap. Manhole cover. Comes up a bull. Good morning, folks. What's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in lovely Lauderdale by the Sea. Even though it's still 87 degrees, it's cooler than it was the last couple months at the 90s plus. Hope you're having great weather as well. Summer is over, or almost over. Not quite, actually. What am I saying? Summer's almost over. But we're getting close into our spring. Oh, jeez. I don't even know where I'm at. Into our fall months here pretty soon. And yeah, it is cooling down a little bit, actually, though. A little cooler at 87 than where it's been. And as you know, I've got the live Coral City cam up here, and a beautiful camera down here in Port of Miami. Actually, you wouldn't think anything could live close to Miami, but it does, folks. Very beautiful camera here. You can see all the tropical fishes. And where have I been? Well, I have been kind of out of touch here a little bit. Just busy as hell, working on all kinds of different things. That's why I haven't produced a video for 9 days. It's the longest I've not produced a video for. Closing down my father's store. As most of you know, my father passed away last year, so I've got a lot of different things, running a new coin show, all kinds of great excuses why I'm not pumping out a video daily like I used to. But at some point, I'll get enough help, I'll get things done, and I'll get some little more consistency in the videos that I produce here. Anyways, glad you're sticking with me. Thanks, folks. Appreciate that very much. Meanwhile, quote of the day: there's no more dangerous menace to civilization than a government of this type of, and this type of, and this type of men. This is done by Ludwig von Mises. And yeah, Mises like mouses. Ludwig von Mises, I think, is how you pronounce his name. One of the libertarian, or the founders of libertarianism, I guess you could say. Perhaps some of us would call it liberal, what is it called? Classical liberalism or something like that as well, an offshoot. But I'm not going to get into politics. I've already talked about weather and fish and all that other cool stuff. We're here to talk about precious metals. Got a couple cool things. We're going to go over a Ted Butler article recently that he produced, and I'm going to tell you what some good deals out there. We're going to talk about CBDCs and a few other things, and catch up on a few things. All right, where are spot prices this morning? We are about the same, up $1 or so. Silver's down. Silver hit that $25 mark yesterday, backed off a little bit, and platinum is been pretty strong. Now, folks, there's something I've been talking about for quite some time here, and I mentioned it a lot of times, is that for some reason, I do this well, the videos, I'm not doing as many as I used to, but I view gold and silver prices on a daily basis. Besides doing what I do with you right now, going over them, I look at them over and over every day, as do many other precious metal dealers and people that are in this business. And you notice patterns, and the pattern that I have been seeing is platinum. I've said it many times, platinum's kind of been a tell. Platinum seems to be moving ahead of the price of gold and silver. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's just a pure coincidence. I don't know, but it seems too consistent to be coincidental. Platinum for the last year or so, or more maybe, when platinum has started to make moves, decent or not decent, but big moves to the upside, to the downside, I have noticed without doubt and without fail, silver and gold start to follow. Now, what causes these three markets to work in unison? I just don't know. Well, we do know. It's crooked commercial trading in the CME COMEX group. But again, I feel like a broken record bringing that up all the time. But there is really no reason why platinum, silver, and gold should almost in tandem go up and down with each other for the most part. For the most part, okay? But again, I digress. What I want to talk about is this tell that I've seen with platinum. Platinum starts to tank when platinum was starting to go from that $1,000 plus mark down to 900, high 800s. Gold and silver were doing pretty well. Shortly after that, they started to follow platinum. Platinum kind of bottomed out at that $900 mark. You can check the charts and it'll confirm what I'm saying. Platinum bottomed out that $900 mark for a little while. Gold and silver. Gold bottomed out at that 1910, 1912, 1915 this last month or so. Since it's got hammered down in the last 3 months or 4 months. Silver, same. Well, silver, not as much recently, and I want to talk about that. Silver is showing some really, I want to say abnormal strength in the face of gold falling and, let's say gold falling more or less. But platinum, before gold started going back from that 1910 to 1925, 35, $40 mark where we are right now, and silver recovering from that, what was it, high 20s, high 22 or something like that, low 23s. Before they did that, or actually when they got down to those levels, when silver bottomed recently and gold bottomed recently in the last couple of months, platinum was already bottom. Now, when platinum started to move recently, gold started to move with it. I saw platinum moving up to 930, 940, 950, again, 978 where it is right now. Gold starting to move up as well. And silver, again, moving up, but not as much, okay? And silver didn't fall as much as I expected. And remember, gold's 5% off its all-time high. Silver's not too far, well, silver is way off its all-time high. What am I saying, not too far off? Half its all-time high. I'm going to show you a couple of graphs here that are interesting as well. But folks, keep an eye on platinum. I mean, again, coincidence? I don't know. But it's a pattern that I've recognized that platinum seems to be a tell for gold and silver. When platinum starts to fall dramatically, gold and silver seem to follow it shortly after. Platinum seems to rise dramatically, gold and silver seem to follow it shortly after. Again, don't ask me what that means. There seems to be no rhyme or reason. I don't know why these would follow each other, but there are patterns that people recognize, and it's a pattern that I've recognized. Okay, let's get into these charts that I was talking about real quick. And exactly, gold is, look, I mean, there's our all-time high in gold right there, all right? Well, I guess when you figure, here, let's inflation adjusted. Let's move out inflation adjusted. That again, you know what inflation adjusted mean. You can see the difference in the chart here. But gold's all-time highs, not inflation adjusted, would be obviously 1981. All right, and then we've also got 2012, and then we've got recent. Gold's just continually, even if you do inflation adjusted, it's continually making all-time highs. There's our first big bull market right there after Nixon took us off the gold standard. But there you go, high, high, high. We've had 4 all-time high. Well, there you go. We just keep breaking highs here. And again, that's inflation adjusted, not, and I don't know how well they did. The inflation figures they use are official government record, inflation records. So you can't put much stock in inflation adjusted numbers on any of these graphs, okay? But no less, take a look at that. We have hit all-time highs 3 times in gold. And meanwhile, let's take a look at poor silver. Silver, we have yet, look, $50. Again, I'm going to get rid of that inflation adjusted. There's our all-time high. There's our all-time high. And we still have yet to meet our all-time high. Gold continues to break them, silver does not. Why is that? Folks, we know why that is, and again, I don't want to be a broken record. Everyone talks about this, how crooked these markets are, and the crookedness comes from the CME Group and the London exchanges, and the exchanges where they're completely paper derivative markets. They're driven completely by paper. Silver, for example, the amount of silver that's traded out there sometimes far exceeds what the yearly mine supply is, okay? So it's all paper bullshit. Now, some folks think that SLV might be paper bullshit. I don't think so. Ted Butler doesn't think so. I tend to believe that he's way smarter than I am on these things. And, again, Ted Butler's the one that's pointing out the crooked, collusive behavior with the commercial banks and silver. And they do it in other metals, too. It is, folks. It's a crooked market. And I don't know, again, I get sidetracked when I start talking about these crooks in these markets, but no less, we have yet to hit our third high. And we barely broke our highs, too. Silver hit $50 an ounce in 1980. They're about 49 and change. And same thing in 2012. Silver was hitting close to that $50 mark, and then boom, got monkey hammered by the big collusive paper markets, the derivative CME Group's crooked casino. But we've yet to see that all-time high again, folks, and we're going to see it. It's just a matter of time. And I want to read a little article here by Ted Butler, because a lot of you get frustrated about this. You get frustrated about owning silver, and gold, it's hard to get frustrated about owning gold because it's a good insurance policy and it's the money of queens and kings and the elite, so to speak. But silver, just a very undervalued, very manipulated commodity, again, we know where. And people get frustrated when they don't see the price of silver go up dramatically, okay? But folks, think about this. Silver's priced around you could trade 4 jars of mayonnaise for 1 ounce of silver. I mean, again, I brought that up last video. You know, what would you rather have? 4 ounces of jars of mayonnaise. Has anyone seen the price of mayonnaise, by the way? $6 to $8 a jar. Mayonnaise used to be what, 85 cents, $1.25, $1.50. Maybe I'm getting old and it's been a while since I shop for mayonnaise, but mayonnaise is now at $6 to $8, okay, for a jar of mayonnaise. I don't think it's a super big jar either. And 4 of those will net you 1 ounce of silver. Think about that. I mean, and again, there's so many different things. I mean, how many candy bars? You know, candy bars are what, $2 now? How many candy bars can you buy for 1 ounce of silver? Everything has gone up but silver. And why is that? Again, crooked markets. I've got Ted Butler's article up here, and you probably read it before while I've been talking here. But Ted says at the same time, however, this fraudulent price rigging is so obvious and in your face, and we know that, and so contrary to what is transpiring in the real world of physical silver that no one can guarantee the big comics crooks are assured of continued success. All things considered, if they were going to fail, it would seem most reasonable for that to occur at a time of pronounced physical tightness. And Ted says there's big physical tightness out there, not in our small retail markets, but in the world of the giant traders who deal in multiples of 1,000-ounce bars. And we'll get into that here. That the private betting game that has determined silver prices for 40 years is further concentrated and controlled by just 4 big crooked banks is a market and regulatory scandal of epic proportions. Meanwhile, though, folks, our system is screwed. Our system is run by large banks now and large entities that basically, think about it, the big commercial banks basically run the silver market. They run it, okay? And not even legally, but here, I digress again. Let me finish what Ted's talking about. Since I so dislike speaking out of both sides of my mouth, preferring to speak with confidence when the market structure permits me to do so, let me try to speak as clearly as possible. That silver will most likely quickly double or triple in price as soon as the ongoing comic silver manipulation ends. I have no doubt. I concur with Ted Butler. I feel that exact same thing. It's a matter of when, and again, that's anyone's guess at this point. I also have no doubt that the comic silver manipulation will end soon, precisely because it has lasted for so long that it has affected the actual supply and demand of the silver market in a way that now requires sharply higher prices. Ted's exactly correct on, he's correct on this, all right? At some point, and a friend of mine told me years and years ago, listen, Brian, even if these markets are manipulated, and they were, and he never really admitted that they were, but his caveat was, all right, so they're manipulated. The fact is they can only manipulate a commodity like silver and other commodities for so long before it bites them in the ass when they don't have the product to deliver. And that's exactly what Ted's talking about here. All right. In other words, the big picture involves the comics price manipulation have been so successful for so long that it has created its own eventual ruin due to the distortion it has created in the actual law of supply and demand. And yes, if the big 4 biggest shorts have added to short positions, that does nothing but intensify what Ted calls code red market emergency and comic silver. And Ted's code red has been something he's been talking about for the last month or so, which refers to an extreme tightness in 1,000-ounce bars out there, again, in large quantities, not our small retail market that we talk about, not SD Bullion, not APMEX Bullion, not any of the other big companies that are online that sell bullion. Our market, their inventories, my inventory, is meaningless in the real grand scheme of things. So a lot of guys out there will point, well, there's plenty of silver at APMEX, SD, and JM. By the way, here comes my advertising. I will beat APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion on all their reasonably priced products. I don't carry unreasonably priced products like some of these companies do, but they're great companies, and who do you want to beat? If you're in business, you want to beat the best out there. So I will beat APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion out there on their prices. They're big 800-pound gorillas. Do they have the best prices always? No, there's a lot of small independents like me that'll beat them. But meanwhile, I will beat those guys on their prices. I'll also beat the locals down here on gold, silver, and platinum as well. So if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, keep me in mind. All right, there's my advertising. Also, I've got a special that I want to talk about in a little bit that I can sell you guys, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Here, let's finish up with Ted here. At the same time, only a fool would ever deem the biggest comics commercial crooks as unable to rig yet another price smash and grab. So Ted's kind of saying here is that, listen, we might see $25 silver here, but they may cap it again. We may see it go back down to 23, 22, but You know, there's just something strange going on. The strength that silver showed in the face of gold going down almost $100 and platinum dropping like it is, silver didn't drop as dramatically as you know, I thought it was going to. So there's some strength. There's something going on here. And Ted says, since we can't control what the buy comics crooks might do in the very short term, we can only control what we do ourselves. For me, it's relatively easy. Ted says he's holding on to his core and leverage positions and continues to play kamikaze call options in the hope of catching a big one. That's kind of cool. I got to learn how to do that. At this point, it seems imperative to me not to miss out on the coming silver price explosion, or heaven forbid, actually lose positions due to an unanticipated rig sell-off. And again, that's Ted Butler's opinion. I tend to concur with the man. Very intelligent guy, knows his stuff. And anyways, folks, we may see another drop in silver, but I think at some point we are getting closer and closer to that time. I can't pinpoint it, define, and tell you what month it is. You know, I thought it was going to happen a while ago, but at some point it's going to happen here fairly shortly. And again, you're buying silver, a 1 ounce silver for 4 jars of mayonnaise. I mean, how cheap do you get? All right. Central bank digital currency. I want to talk about this because a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, and a gentleman that I do a lot of business with, I have a lot of respect for. We had a conversation this morning about central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, rolling out, how that'll affect silver and gold, how that'll affect us, and also what when CBDCs come out. Will they, as my friend had mentioned that he had heard from other YouTubers out there, will that cause gold and silver buyers to go black market, underground? You know, when CBDCs come out, will they end the use of gold and silver? Will they truly be the dystopian currency that not even currency, dystopian methods of payment and transfers that people talk about? Well, I don't know. I don't think, you know, you got to think about this. You know, we got a Second Amendment in this country, okay, and First Amendment and other ones, and it seems like certain people don't care about that, but no less, you know, no matter what rules, even if they completely got rid of the Second Amendment today, do you really think anybody's going to give up their stuff? No. I mean, look at New Jersey when they passed the magazine law, the number of magazines that you could, or the magazine capacity in a firearm in New Jersey when they limited it to so many. And they said, okay, all you New Jersey folks that have magazines are higher capacity than this have to turn them in. Well, guess how many people turned them in? Zip. I heard the same thing with those bump stocks as well. When they outlawed those bump stocks, nobody turned them in. And I'll tell you why, folks, because at some point, and this leads into CBDCs, okay? At some point, the general public out there will start to see what a farce that these rule makers, lawmakers, the people that supposedly control them are, and what liars they are. And again, what I kind of pointed out in our quote here, a menace to civilization, incompetent, corrupt, and vile people, okay? That's exactly what we got going on out there that are creating these rules and regulations. I would say most of them just stupid, okay? But no less, where was I going with this, okay? Stupid people are everywhere. Central bank digital currencies. All right, my brain just kind of took a sideways, but I know where I was going with this. Good people. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of good people that didn't turn in their high-capacity magazines. There's a lot of good people out there that didn't turn in their, what do you call them, those bump stocky things. There's a lot of good people out there that didn't turn in their arm braces, I think they call them, and stuff. There's a lot of good people out there that refuse to be silenced, even though these big media companies are trying to silence them, okay? They refuse to be. Tucker Carlson, for one, okay? His own employer tried to silence him, all right? So there's a huge amount of us out there, folks. This is why I don't believe necessarily that we are going to get forced into a CBDC currency. And I'll tell you why. We'll only get forced into it if we allow ourselves to be victims and get pushed into it. I was with my friend, I was telling him this morning that I do know, and CBDCs are not, this is not conspiracy. It's out. I want to read this to you real quick too, already. This is from the Federal Reserve, Board of Governors Federal Reserve System, all right? But there's something here interesting I want to read. And I'm going to point something out that some people probably miss. While the Federal Reserve has made no decision on whether to pursue or implement a central bank digital currency, bullshit, or CBDC, we have been exploring the potential benefit and risk of CBDC from angles, including technological research and experimentation. Our key focus is on whether how a CBDC would improve an already safe and efficient U.S. domestic payment system. CBDC is generally defined as digital liability of a central bank that is widely available to the general public. Today in the United States Federal Reserve notes, ready? This is what I want to kind of point out to you. Today in the United States Federal Reserve notes are the only type of central bank money available to the public, all right? Like forms of existing money, a CBDC would enable the general public to make digital payments. And as a liability of the Federal Reserve, however, a CBDC would be the safest digital asset to the general public with no associated credit or risk. Okay, what does this mean right here? A CBDC would be the safest digital asset available to the general public with no associated credit or risk. How can a CBDC have no associated credit or risk? I mean, I don't get that. Or liquidity risk, okay? You know why I won't have a liquidity risk? Because they can endlessly make it. They can endlessly produce it. And I'm not even sure there will be any transparency behind what they do. But no less, folks, I don't believe, and again, they're also talking about pros and cons of potential CBDC. I also believe that they're trying to replace the U.S. government, and maybe that's what they're talking about. The U.S. government actually issues currency. Maybe they see the writing on the wall, and they're saying that the U.S. dollar per se, not the CBDC, has credit and liquidity risk. I think that's what they're trying to say here, and that the CBDC won't. Does that mean that the Federal Reserve is taking over our entire currency and money system? Yep, it sure does, but they've been doing it for a long time, folks. This is nothing new. And but again, I digress, and I'm going to say that I don't believe that I will accept CBDCs. I don't believe that I will use them. I think that, well, hold on. I'm going to say what most of you are going to say, and here's the risk. If they give them to me for free, would I take them? Yeah, I'd convert them quickly to some kind of product or commodity or something, but I would take them. But that's the first danger, is they're going to lure us in with taking them. And how are they going to lure you in by taking them? Say, for example, a stimulus plan. What if they do a stimulus plan? They say, hey, we're going to send everyone out $10,000 of CBDCs for free. Am I going to say no? No. Are you going to say no? This is how they're going to roll it out, folks. They're going to offer it for free to people. They're going to do stimulus with it. And in my opinion, too, the first people that are going to get attacked with CBDCs are going to be the poor. And it's going to be through welfare. It's going to be through a food stamp type program, all right, welfare, whatever. You will no longer get a welfare check. It will no longer be put into your bank account. You will get a CBDC, all right? And the interesting thing about the CBDC is maybe they can program it so that poor people won't be able to buy things that the elite don't think they should own. Oh, you should buy just food with it. You should buy it'll be used only to pay for food or only to pay for lodging. So if you're poor and you want to go buy cigarettes or something like that, or you want to go buy a bottle of wine or something like that, forget about it. That's why the poor doesn't want to take CBDCs. But like us, if it's offered for free, they're going to take it, and so are we. Meanwhile, well, that introduces it into the system. What do we do after that? Not use it for anything else? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they're trying to push this on us, but I think banning magazines and banning bump stocks and banning all that other stuff, I don't think it's going to work if we reject it, all right, and let them know we reject it. And by the way, I guess they'll let you make public comments here and what you think of it. Let's see what that says, all right. Public comments. All right, I'll have to look at that later. All right, folks, that's my opinion on CBDCs. And how did I get there? All right, well, $20 gold pieces are one of the things that a lot of guys push out there, and people that believe that the CBDCs are going to be the thing of the future. Also, some of them believe that the gold and silver markets will be pushed underground into the black marketplace. I don't necessarily believe that, because I don't think as Americans we're going to put up with it. And in fact, I think the next election we're going to have is going to be a change of the regime and or a revolution. But I'm not, I won't go there any further. But a revolution, not a civil war, revolution, big difference between the two. But $20 gold pieces, the reason that I got into the conversation about CBDCs is because a lot of the guys that are interested in a lot of guys that buy $20 gold pieces, and U.S. pre-33 gold is what we call it, are concerned about confiscation of bars and coins. And again, I am not a believer in that, but there's a lot of people out there that do believe in that, okay? That gold bars and things will be confiscated, and that they won't confiscate coins based on the collector value on them. That may very well be true, and maybe there's a possibility that owning $20 gold pieces and $10 gold pieces, they may not get confiscated, or they may be easy to sell, whereas maybe the black market will be the place to sell 1 ounce gold bars and that kind of thing. But again, don't want to say that one way or another, but what I have noticed, and what my friend pointed out to me, is that the price of pre-33 gold, like, the last month had just completely disintegrated. Not the price of gold, but the premium that these things were. For example, there's a 1904 MS63 $20 lib. Look, that's priced at $550, and they were actually probably in the 550. I'm saying 550. They were probably about a month ago, 2 months ago. These things were probably around 2,500 or something like that. Now we're currently sitting down about 2,200, or actually a little more than that. My cost is 2,200 on these. By the way, if you're looking for 20 libs and you do want to own a 20 lib, rather, just for owning one, and or you believe that at some point 20 libs will still be a tradable product because the government won't confiscate them. I've got a good deal on 20 20 libs through my friend. MS63 20 libs, 1904s. I've got a batch of those that I can sell you guys for, like, my cost is 2,200. I'd like to make 40 bucks a coin. 22.40. Why they last? And again, these were much higher at sometime not too long ago. And they're going up as well. I believe that I could have bought these for 2,100 last week. All right, so already these things have shot up over $100 in a week. And again, I'm offering this to guys that want to own an example of one of these, or to guys out there that sincerely believe that gold is going to get confiscated. Now, I can tell you, I don't sincerely believe that, but gold is going to get confiscated, and 20s will be the only thing that you can own. But what a great deal. These things will probably shoot up in the premiums coming up as well, because again, a lot of people do believe you have to own pre-33 gold or constitutional silver. Hey, that's fine. Who am I to say otherwise? Meanwhile, got a great deal on 20s if you need them. And where are we going to move on from here, by the way? I know, best deals. All right, besides the $20 Saints that I can sell, or libs in MS63 that I can sell cheaper than anyone else out there. In fact, let's take a look and see who else has got them. Let's see what the best deals out there. Now, I like to use SD Bullion. I'll beat their prices, and I'll beat APMEX and JM Bullion's prices. But do they have $20 libs in here? Let's see what they're getting for them in 63. $20 Liberty MS63. I don't know if they do that. Oh, there we go. Let's see what they're getting for them. Do they have them for sale? There we go. Hang on one second. 62s, 63s, 20 libs and 63s. Yeah, see, they got them as low as $2,300, so I can beat their price, man, by quite a bit, $60, $70. I can beat SD Bullion's price on 20 libs and 63 for 1904s. That's what they're selling, I'm sure. I can sell them for $22.40 per unit, and the cheapest they get them for out there is $23.10, as low as $23.10. Okay, I can beat that pretty easily. And what else can I beat in prices out there? And by the way, folks, if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, again, a little plug for me. I'm in South Florida. I'll beat the locals down here. I'll also beat the online guys. So there's no reason, if you live near me, our brick and mortar store, that you can't come by and save money rather than buying from the locals. Again, there's some good locals around here for sure. Some not so good ones as well, be careful. But that's everywhere. And the online buyers, APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion, again, I beat those guys because they are the 800-pound gorillas. And who do you want to beat? You want to beat the big guys. If you don't live in South Florida and you can't visit me at my store here in South Florida, because we're brick and mortar only, find yourself a good local dealer. If he can match SD Bullion's prices or beat them, then you're in good company there, and I would stick with that person. If you live outside the state of Florida and you can't visit my brick and mortar and you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum in any kind of quantity, give me a call if you can't find a good local dealer. I'll still beat APMEX, SD, and JM prices. But if you can't find yourself a good local dealer, call me. But again, I stress, find yourself a good local dealer. And if you live in Florida, I'm your Huckleberry. So hang on a second. Gold Eagles, what do they got them for? I can beat that price. You know what? Rather than just give you my, I can just tell you that I can beat the prices of American Gold Eagles from SD, APMEX, and JM Bullion, their prices, and the locals here. And where are they at? They're at 2080. What are they showing for the price of gold right now? 1950, 350. Let's see how much over that is. Well, hold on. Let me first say, that's their 40 plus. All right, that's their 1 through 10 quantity. All right, what's their 1 through 10 quantity look like? Give me 1 second here. Oh gosh, let me look again. Hang on 1 second. 21. That's not it. Doggone it. All right. Getting old, losing my brain. 2080, that's what I thought it was. 2080 subtract 1,953.
It's 127.
Okay, they got them at spot plus 127. I can beat that on small quantities for spot plus $123. Not a big savings there, but I can still beat their prices. And again, these are very competitive people out here. As far as gold, what other good products are in gold that you should be asking your local dealer for or buying from me? Maple Leafs and Krugerrands, all these other products, again, I can beat their prices, are trading in the probably $80 to $90 range, $80 to $95 in small quantities, and those are good deals. So gold bars are consistent. They haven't fallen much, but they're still in that spot plus $80 range. Let's see what they got them for. They run specials on them once in a while, and again, I'll beat them even on their specials. Let's see what bars they got here. One in 1996. How much over? That's as low as in quantity. All right, 2006 for 10. All right. 2006 subtract 1,953.
It's 53.
53 bucks over. That's a pretty good price right there. Boy, that's hard to beat too. Not a bad price on 1 ounce gold bars. And that's actually the cheapest thing out there. Is that for quantity too? And what type of bar? Specific bars, for example, you got to pay more money for. Look, 2011. Let's see what this is. What I carry. Valcombis. Ready? 2011 subtract 1,953.
It's 58.
Spot plus 58 bucks. Guess what? I'll be lowering my price on 1 ounce bars, guys, because I got to beat these guys. So you want a good deal? Come in and order some 1 ounce gold bars because they are cheap. Man, they had lowered the price on those dramatically. I bet you sales are way off for a lot of these big online guys. Remember, their expenses are really big. And like I said, buy local. Silver, what's the best deals out there in silver? You know, even Silver Eagles are like spot plus 5 1/4 right now, and I think SD and everybody has them for a lot more than that. 1 ounce rounds, generic rounds are still the best deal out there. 100 ounce bars, kilo bars are still the best deal at anywhere from spot plus $2 to $3 in that range. Can't beat it, folks. And again, I would advise stay away from Silver Eagles. Constitutional Silver's got it a little bit more reasonable. I think I have it for spot plus $3, $4, something in that range right now. But again, still more than 999 generic stuff, which I think is the better deal. All right, well, if you're looking for great deals, you live in South Florida, come visit us or give us a call. If you don't live in our area, find yourself a good local dealer that'll beat SD, Bullion, APMEX, and JM. And if you can't find one, give me a call. Okay, I think we're almost done with this video, folks. What's going on in the world? Just nothing really but pure craziness, which is good for the price of gold and silver. I like that guy, despite the fact that, remember the pube hair on the Coke can? God, that was a long time ago. I bet a lot of people don't even remember that. We are seeing, anyway, again, go figure. That's going to happen here pretty soon, too, if this current administration wins. So, all right, I better get out of here because I'll get in trouble. Yeah, there you go. Definitely mucho censorship on this particular forum that I'm talking about and actually talking on right now. And let's get out of here. I don't want to get myself in trouble. And by the way, let's talk about last week's video. I'll answer a few questions here. Last week's video was silver's way undervalued. Of course, duh, we all know that. But let me answer a few questions here. And Silver Cobra, first you are. Thank you. Get a sip of coffee here. I agree. Silver, cheapest thing on this planet, you know. And well, not cheapest thing on this planet, but silver is just cheap, man. It really is. Way undervalued. And at some point, it's going to catch up as soon as they lose control of the physical markets, which Ted Butler, one of the smartest guys out there, believes is happening, and I believe that as well. Second, you're first to me too, still. You're all first to me, folks. Celeste, what's up? Yeah, those 3 disturbances are headed my way. I'm keeping a positive attitude. I haven't really tuned in to see what happened yesterday on the west coast of Florida. My heart's out to those folks. I've been through hurricanes myself. At the very worst, you lose everything. At the very least, you know, it's power and being without services for a while and all kinds of stuff like that. But no less, man, they're just terrible. All right. Thanks, Celeste. If you have a Costco executive, they keep putting, yeah, I didn't see that, but that's pretty cool. That's taking advantage of the system for sure. Let's see how long that lasts for. Significant empty is our mighty dollar. Yes. Seeing that mayonnaise wants to make me a sandwich. Oh. That mayonnaise, yeah, exactly. You can buy a lot of mayonnaise for 1 ounce of silver. Do you mean the perfect, the silver to mayonnaise ratio? How's that? We got to talk about that. Do you mean the perfect storm? I did mean the perfect storm. I think we are set up for the perfect storm in silver. Definitely silver for sure, more so than gold. Thank you for sharing your insights. Speak the truth. Thank you. I appreciate that very much, JP Mike. PJ Mike. Rowan Maddox says silver's valued in the dollar. The dollar's 1 3 cents, so $23 silver is only 69 cents. Let that sink in. Ooh, I have to think about that more. Mayo or silver? That's a tough one. I like my mayo too. But hey, listen, I can buy more mayo with my silver now. Ooh, you know, exchange mayo for dollars. I think that's just sometimes that happens right there, but it's during the upload or something like that, Sierra. Mr. Mendes, I love it when I have some silver. I know where yep, silver is a good store of value. At the very least, silver has been. I think we're going to see it go crazy at some point here. Going to be a lot of money made on it, but silver has been a decent store of wealth somewhat compared to the dollar, okay? Compared to mayonnaise, maybe not so much. Time to invest in more mayonnaise. There you go. If silver drops one time, I'll be backing up the truck. I agree with you. Great advice from Brian. Honest advice in his humble opinion. Don't go to the pawn shop to... I agree. Thank you, Harlan. And Tinfoil Ninja says toilet paper has a better return. Oh gosh, another naysayer that doesn't know shit from Shinola. But hey, listen, you're okay. Toilet paper has a better. Well, hold on, let me think about the truth of that. Toilet paper has a better, no, not really, not really. That was kind of a fad market there for a little while. If you're sitting on a lot of toilet paper that you bought for too much money, you're going to be sitting on it for a while. Anyways, I wonder what the toilet paper price per silver is right now. I know it's 4 jars of mayonnaise. I guess I'd have to do the math on that. But sir, if you're stocking up on toilet paper or mayonnaise, good luck to you. Well, that's it, folks. This is Brian Kuzmar. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, all that good stuff right there, and hit that little bell wherever it is. It'll let you know when my new videos come up. Once every 9 days lately, but sorry about that. And hey, don't forget to catch me here out on Twitter. I like this guy, by the way. If you're on Twitter, make sure you go find this guy. He talks a lot about silver and what's happening over in China. And the outflows and all that stuff. Very interesting guy to watch. Like to thank BBL for turning me on to him. And listen, if you don't find me on this particular forum, this particular social media channel, you can find me on this particular social media channel, which is a full free speech channel. I've been backing up everything just in case and letting you know if you find my channel missing, there I am there. You can find me there. Also, you can find me out on LinkedIn, even though I'm told that's where all the old guys play. Yeah, I'm an old guy too. Well, that's it, folks. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. If you're looking to buy anywhere from $1 worth to millions of dollars worth of gold, silver, and platinum, give us a call. I'll beat the locals. I'll beat Amex, SD, and JM Bullion as well. And if you don't live in South Florida and you can't visit us, and you don't have a good local dealer, give us a call. We can still do business the old traditional way over the phone, wires and all that good stuff, and larger quantities. Happy to deal with you. And again, if you don't have a good local dealer, give us a call. Meanwhile, visit our brick and mortar here in Lauderdale by the Sea. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you. I don't want to commit to tomorrow, but I'll try. Bye now.